HowExpert! Top 10 Escape from Tarkov tips and tricks. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit HowExpert.com to learn more. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more HowExpert Top 10 videos in the future. Moving on, let's talk about the HowExpert Top 10 Escape from Tarkov tips and tricks. Number 10. Hidden loot caches. Most of the maps in Escape from Tarkov contain hidden caches of randomized loot. These are usually buried in the ground inside leaf piles or white barrels, and can contain virtually any item in the game. Learning the location of these can make for easy bonus loot to scoop up as you run by. These can even hold quest items or very rare loot on occasion. Take the time to learn these spots and incorporate them into your routes. You could even build entire runs around just hitting these caches. Number 9. Grenades have different fuses. There are many different grenade types in Tarkov, and most of them have different fuse timers. The fuse timer controls when the grenade explodes after the pin is pulled, and can make different grenades useful in different spots. Short fuse grenades are better for quick and dirty close-in fights, while long fuses are good for area denial and trapping your enemies. Use the right tool for the job. Number 8. Crouch height and walk speed. In most shooters, standing and crouching are set values with nothing in between. In Tarkov, holding the crouch button and spinning the mouse wheel can allow you to precisely control the height of your crouch. This can be very useful for finding sneaky peek spots, shooting over cover, and being unpredictable to your enemies. The scroll wheel used by itself can be used similarly to adjust your walk speed to control your speed and noise. Combine these moves to get the drop on unsuspecting foes. Number 7. Get a lucky Scav junk box. This item is relatively expensive for players in the early game, costing usually between 1 and 2 million rubles. What it does, though, is hold all of the barter, vendor, quest, and miscellaneous items that you acquire on your runs. It takes up to 16 slots in your stash, but contains 196 slots inside of it, which makes it extremely space efficient. This allows you to use your precious stash space for guns, armor, and jugs of apple juice instead. This tip is doubly important if you are playing on a standard account where stash space can become a serious issue. Number 6. Use scavs as guards. Non-player scavengers in Escape from Tarkov can range from free loot dispensers to surprisingly lethal. Every scav in the game, though, is always looking out for player characters in a constant patrol. If you're careful, you can position yourself close enough to a scav to observe its movement, but far enough away that they don't attack you. At this point, the scav becomes an early warning system if other players are getting close to you. When that scav starts calling out or shooting, you get a tip off that you're not alone. Number 5. Leg meta. Players in Tarkov will almost always be wearing some kind of chest and head armor. Depending on the quality of the armor, this can make enemies resistant to certain types of ammo, to the point where it can feel like they're soaking up entire magazines without breaking a sweat. Nobody has armor on their legs, though, and this can be exploited. Due to the way damage works in the game, it's possible to shoot an enemy in the legs so much that they just end up dying. This technique works best with high rate of fire weapons and ammunition that does high damage and low armor penetration. Use this trick against bosses and players using top-tier gear. Be aware, however, that shooting an opponent in the legs doesn't provide the same staggering effect that chest and headshots do, which can allow your opponent to return fire more effectively. Number 4. Use distractions. When attacking players who are dug into a position, it is important to utilize any advantage you can. Using distraction techniques can give a vital edge. Tossing a grenade in a random direction, firing a few rounds at nothing, opening and closing doors, these are just a few ways to throw your opponent off of your actual approach. Attacking a well-defended player is already a tricky spot, so do anything that you can to even the odds and play some mind games. Number 3. Reload magazines on the go. Unlike many shooters, Tarkov tracks the amount of ammunition in each magazine that your character is carrying. This means that after a nasty fight, you could be left with several magazines with only a handful of bullets each. Find a quiet spot and empty these magazines and restock as many as you can back to full. It takes time and makes noise, but 2 full magazines are much more useful than 4 half-full ones. This is also why you should bring in a stack of loose ammunition for your weapon to top up magazines as needed. Keep this spare ammo in your secured container until needed for maximum efficiency. Number 2. Premed. Painkillers in Escape from Tarkov are arguably the most useful medical supplies you can use. They enable your character to see and run normally after sustaining injuries, keeping you in the fight longer. Unfortunately, stopping in the middle of a gun battle to pop an Advil can be a risky move. If you anticipate a conflict or are moving into an area that sees heavy combat, take your painkillers before the shooting starts. Even the most basic painkiller in the game lasts for about 3 minutes, which can make all the difference in fights that can be over in seconds. Number 1. Patience wins fights. Camping gets a bad rep in most shooters, and in super fast-paced games, this can be a fair criticism. Tarkov is not most shooters. Although chilling in one spot for minutes at a time can feel cheesy, it is an important tactic in a game that is designed to be a bit slower and more methodical. Sometimes waiting for an enemy to get bored or frustrated and make a mistake can be the advantage you need in a tight spot. Aggressive play has a place in Tarkov too, but sitting, watching, and listening can provide tactical benefits against reckless opponents. If you liked our video, be sure to click like and subscribe for more HowExpert Top 10 videos for all topics from A to Z in the future. Also, let us know what other topics that you want us to do a HowExpert Top 10 video in the future in the comments below. Thank you, have an amazing day, and take care. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit howexpert.com to learn more.